Fact: the last thing you should be thinking about at the age 65 is money. The last thing you should be thinking about at age 25 is money. Learn how to trade stocks online with goldenpennystockmillionaires.com and see how you can take as little as $250 and see it turn into blockbuster profits. I'll tell you what, click the link below this video and I'll give you more information on how. Click the link below this video to learn more.
You know, Buffett is not exactly what you might expect. This jet setter shows up on the tarmac in a simple sweatsuit, but don't let his casual look fool you. Buffett is all business. Charming, yes, but all business. And right now he has a plan for conquering Asia. On this trip, he heads from Omaha to China to South Korea and back, all in under 56 hours, and we are with him every step of the way. At 77 years old, Warren Buffett is working as hard as ever, circling the globe to see firsthand the progress his companies have made and to rally his troops. The chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway since 1964, Buffett sits over an enviable cornucopia of household names including Dairy Queen, Geico, NetJets, See's Candies, and Fruit of the Loom. He also owns major stakes in American icons, including Coca-Cola and the Washington Post. It all began over 65 years ago. The legendary investor buys his first stock, City Services Preferred, at age 11. He liquidates his entire portfolio of 3 shares just 3 years later.
And I bought it at 38 and sold it at 40, and it went to 200.
That made you think I should...
That maybe patience was a better thing.
As Buffett watches the gains he missed out on, he learns that investing is much like his favorite sport, baseball.
Ted Williams, in The Science of Hitting, talks about waiting for the right pitch, and that's what investing is. I mean, there are a lot of parallels. If you swing at bad pitches and feel you have to swing at every pitch, you're going to have a terrible batting average. But if you wait for the right pitch, in baseball, once you get 2 strikes on you, you have to swing at a bad pitch if it's in the strike zone. In investing, you just wait till you get the right pitch.
A skill that this investor, who claims he was destined for a career in asset allocation, has certainly mastered.
I tap dance to the office every morning, and the reason I'm tap dancing is because something may happen like that. I may get a phone call, there may be a letter there, and what it does, it's a lot of fun.
In 1956, at just 25 years old, Buffett starts a limited partnership. The seed money, $100 of his own cash, and investments from family and friends totaling just over $100,000. In less than a decade, Buffett grows that sum to a whopping $26 million, investing in farm equipment manufacturers and textile companies, including one called Berkshire Hathaway. By 1969, Buffett amasses a controlling stake in Berkshire. In the 4 decades since, he has built it into one of the largest holding companies in the world. The world's 3rd richest man, with a net worth of over $52 billion, is a person of simple pleasures. He has no entourage, no cell phone or BlackBerry. In fact, he rarely emails anyone, and he lives in the same home he bought almost 50 years ago in Omaha, Nebraska.
Hi. Hi.
Buffett makes his deals much the same way he manages his life. He buys what he understands.
We're looking for companies with durable competitive advantage, run by able and honest people, and we're looking for businesses that we can acquire at a price that makes sense for Berkshire Hathaway.
That's why Berkshire Hathaway has always owned only American companies, those Buffett could get both his hands and his head around.
Ain't she kinda sweet?
That is, until May of 2006. That's when Buffett surprises shareholders at his annual meeting with news that he is shifting gears, plunking down $4 billion to buy a controlling stake in Iskar, a metalworking company based in Israel. It's a total change in direction for Buffett, and one that starts with a simple letter.
I got a letter in October of 2005 from a man I didn't know about a company I had never heard of, and it was 1.25 pages long, and it just jumped off the page that these were the kind of people I'd want to be associated with in the kind of company. So he said he would come over if I was interested, 1.25 pages. I emailed him, and he and 2 of the associates were over a little while later, and we just hit it off like that, and I gave him a check for $4 billion without ever seeing the plant.
For 80%?
80%, right.
How do you write a 1.25 page letter that jumps off the page and grabs your attention?
That doesn't happen very often, but I could tell the kind of person that was on the other end, and I could tell from a few figures and a little description of the business that it was exactly our kind of business. And it's a gem. I mean, I've never bought a manufacturing operation that looks as good as this one.
But his first look at ISCAR's operation doesn't come until after he closes on the deal. Berkshire actually bought ISCAR, which was founded by Stefan Wertheimer, sight unseen. But since then, the billionaire next door has gained plenty of frequent flyer miles touring his new operations. Buffett visits ISCAR's headquarters in Tefan, Israel, which is home to about a third of ISCAR's more than 6,000 employees, shortly after buying the cutting tool business. He and longtime friend, Berkshire's vice chairman Charlie Munger, toured the plant in September of 2006. CNBC's Carl Quintanilla is there.
I knew where it was when we bought it. What you have here is a remarkable group of people doing remarkable things in their field, achieving terrific results all over the world, but based right here, at 8 miles from the Lebanese border.
Does that mean the risk premium in Israel is no greater than it is in the U.S.?
I would say that there's, in terms of any very short period of time, you could have an event break out. But over the long term, the United States and Israel have exactly the same risk. I mean, we live in a dangerous world. It's our job to make it less dangerous.
The trip leaves a lasting impression on Buffett.
We'll never find another one like ISCAR, but we can just find something that's 80% of ISCAR. We'll be very happy.
Now, on this trip, he'll get a chance to see ISCAR's Asian operations up close. And Asia is key to the company's growth.
We're opening a plant in Dalian for ISCAR, and it's an important business operation for us. So,
why?
Well, ISCAR is in 61 countries around the world, based in Israel. But China will probably be the largest market eventually for ISCAR. We make all kinds of little carbide cutting tools, and they find their way throughout industry. So as Chinese industries boom, steel industry, the car industry, whatever, they use these little tools. And the interesting thing about it is carbide comes from tungsten. Tungsten, by and large, is mined in China. But here was a company in Israel, halfway across the world, and they figured out the best way to use this tungsten and carbide tools. And although they've been selling in China before, this was the first time they've had a plant back there. So the technology, the raw material originally went from China to Israel, and now the technology is going from Israel to China.
In China, you expect will be the biggest market for ISCAR by what year? By 10 years from now?
I would be surprised if within less than 10 years, China could be the largest market.
And already, ISCAR's newest factory is setting records. Fresh off a tour of the facility, Buffett says things here in China seem to happen on double time.
The factory went up in 6 months. It's 250,000 square feet or so, and in 6 months it was done. And now they're good, but they couldn't have done it anyplace else in the world, I don't think, like they did it here in China.
Why can you do it in China?
You'd have to ask the people at ISCAR, but there were no roadblocks of any kind whatsoever, and people worked hard. They got it done fast, and the customers want the product, and we're going to be supplying it to them.
What kind of potential does this place have?
Well, this place has, just that plant right now in its present size will have several $100 million of potential, but we've got room to expand. Our customers will be expanding. I think you will be amazed at what happens.
Right now, this is the first factory for ISCAR in China.
In China.
In China. How big is this market going to be down the road?
It will be huge, Becky. I don't know how big it will be, but you have all of these companies that use our type of product, cutting tools, and we'd be crazy not to be here.
Even though Buffett's first international investment wasn't until 2006, he says he's been thinking globally his entire life, learning the lessons of globalization early on, starting with his investment company's namesake, the Berkshire Hathaway Textile Mills.
In the early, a century plus ago, if you lived in New England, you measured your wealth by looms and bobbins, just like people in the Midwest measured their wealth by acres of land. And it turned to dust, basically.
Is it, you think it's continuing to do that in other industries today?
The world's always evolving, I mean, the job of somebody that allocates capital is to look out and see not so much in my case at least, where the world was going, but to make very sure that you know what the world's leaving. We like what we call durable competitive advantage. That company did not have. It had great workers. It had perfectly sound equipment. It was making something essential, men's linings and cloth for handkerchiefs and that sort of thing. But it did not have any durable competitive advantage, and eventually it disappeared.
What industries today do you think are disappearing in that way?
Well, you have to think about any industry that has a high labor cost, because we are at a competitive disadvantage in the United States with industries with high labor costs. So if now there are plenty of exceptions. I mean, you're not going to print the Wall Street Journal from China or India or something of the sort. But if you've got a business with a high labor content that's turning out kind of a basic product, you have to think twice about what's going to happen to it. I was wrong in shoes. I went into the domestic shoe business. I was dead wrong because it has moved. I've been in the textile business. We're buying our furniture over there. Now we retail it, we don't manufacture, but a domestic manufacturer has a terrible time now compared to 10 years ago. There's a lot of labor there, and they're good.
In China now, they're losing some of their factories. They're going offshore to Vietnam because it's cheaper labor there.
That's capitalism.
So it's constant.
Even in a communist country, that's capitalism. I mean, the world will seek low-cost production as long as the quality is thought to be fine. And we want to be very careful if we're looking at a business, if it's got a 40% labor content, why is it here and what will keep it here? Because it won't be because we know something they don't know. I mean, or something. I mean, the internet and all kinds of things. The world has gone flat in that respect. So if you're looking for durable competitive advantage, I mean, you're always looking for the chinks in the armor. There's something that can cause a business that's good today not be good 10 or 20 years ago from now. And that's a prime example. That was a wonderful business. That business, back right after World War II, was making as much money as almost any pharmaceutical company you can name or anything. I mean, it was big, but no more.
Coming up, whose idea is this anyway? The man who convinced Warren Buffett to leave Omaha on a whirlwind tour of the Far East, and why the world's greatest investor is certain his secrets to success won't get lost in translation. And later, that's right, throws right, makes a fortune. This fan of Warren Buffett wears a different kind of pinstripes from your average investor, and we've got him. It's an event worthy of fireworks and elaborate celebrations. Yes, there's a new factory opening here in Dalian, China, less than 300 miles east of Beijing. But the real cause for celebration, a guest of honor. The Oracle of Omaha, the world's third richest man who...
Hey, are you ready to make some serious cash by taking advantage of a little-known secret that Wall Street players do not want you to know about? Click the link directly below this video and head over to the Golden Penny Stock Millionaire site today. Find out how it's possible for you to become a stock trader right from the comfort of your home by simply having a computer and an internet connection. Click the link directly below this video and let's get started.